Greetings, everyone. Let's talk about the people with the selective memory, the people who pretty much wounded you and left you for dead. And then all of a sudden they seem to forget. Do you realize that the people who treat you the worst are often the ones who expect the most of you? And they kind of have this sense of entitlement, especially mothers, for example. Mothers who either abandon their children are mothers who abuse their kids. And when these kids grow up, it's like they automatically expect you to forget that you went through all this and you should just dote, love upon them and, cherish them. And let's not talk about the men or the women who, for them, you were not good enough. For them, you were not important, you were not pretty enough, you were not educated enough. They had to go off and find somebody who was more deserving than you. And some of these men, when they, break up with the women that they're with and they find a new woman, they start compare you with the old woman, the new woman, sorry, and they start saying, oh, she's this and she's that, and she's well educated. And you might have the extended family, reminding you about how beautiful that wife is. But guess what? The man gets sick, and all of a sudden, they forget that at one point you had no value. All of a sudden, every problem they have, they remember you and they're expecting you to solve it for them. I'm going to tell you here, I'm going to warn you, do not let people who treat you terribly suddenly turn you into their corner post and suddenly make you the person they cannot live without. And especially when they come and they don't acknowledge what they did to you in the past. You don't have to wait for them to acknowledge what they did. You have to remember it. And so when we talk about forgiveness, people sometimes think that forgiveness means you forget the experience or the ordeal people put you through. And it's not like you want to just put it in front of you and dwell on it, but it's important for you to remember it so you learn from your experiences. When you're able to identify the flag in even people that you'll meet in the future, so that these ones from your past don't, continue to abide with you like a shadow that continues to, cover your eyes. Don't fall for their nonsense. Don't take pity on people who had no compassion for you. And it doesn't have to be just stranger, it's in your own blood relative. It could be your mother. Don't let your mother manipulate you or anybody manipulate you and tell you, oh, you must always take care of your mother. Take care of a mother that causes her partner to molest you. Take care of your mother who abandoned you when you were a child and didn't think twice about you. Take care of your mother when, she called you names and she told you you were nothing and that you were not going to become anything. And she had her favorite child because the child was light skinned, or because your sister had long hair, or because your sister's father was treating her better and she didn't like your father. Or when, you run away because she kicked you out and you had to find a new way for yourself, even when you're very young. They say, leave you to the mercy of the earth. She had no feelings and no compassion for you. And you made your way and you find yourself in the foreign land. And then that mother has the audacity in her old age, after she lived her own life, has the audacity to tell people, oh, I have my daughter in America or Canada, wherever you are, and she doesn't do anything for me. And they're not telling the people what they did to their children. They're not telling the people that they're complaining to. And the thing is, too, sometimes their relatives know that they were no good, whether it be the husband or the boyfriend or the parent. They know that this child grew up with strangers, or this child grew up with the father, and that mom was free to live her life. and she never ever showed love or compassion. The children she has with another person, she treat them well, and oftentimes those kids are the ones who come and turn their backs on them or treat them terribly, and all of a sudden when they're old and tired and sick, they remember you. Sometimes it's your old boyfriend or your ex-partner, whatever. When they find themselves in, the worst of circumstances, suddenly they remember you. Don't let people use you. And that doesn't mean you can't choose to lend a helping hand, but you shouldn't let anyone guilt you into it. You don't have to put yourself in any kind of situation to make yourself uncomfortable because somebody's making you feel guilty. You don't have to feel guilty. You're not beholden by to anyone who treated you badly and for whom they could live without you. One of the lessons I learned now, I said anyone who knows how to live without me can continue to live without me. These people have selective memory. They don't remember what they did to you. They only remember what you do to protect yourself. And I'm saying it to every single person. You can forgive, but don't subject yourself to these ones abusing you or using you in any way. It's okay to say no. And I know it's not an easy thing, but it's okay to say no. If you don't want to do something, you say no without any apologies. You don't even have to explain anything to anybody. You were not there for me as a child. You were not there for me as a friend. You were not there for me as a companion. And now I'm in a better place. I'm not going to allow you to drag me down to that place with you. Because there are some people that their main duty is to come into your life and destroy you. And sometimes after they've destroyed you and discarded you, and when they look and see that you didn't die, you didn't surrender, and that you're a fighter and you overcome, when they come back, it's not because they're sorry and want to apologize to you or want a relationship with you. They're coming back to take more. They're coming back to take more. It's like you are now just bone, just skeleton, because they already eat off your flesh. And when they see that the bone is still moving, the dry bones, they're coming back for more. So you have to remember, you have to protect your own self. You can't wait for these ones who have no conscience. You have to then secure yourself, protect yourself, build a shield of protection around your life so that these ones cannot come back for the bones. You have to remember, you have to put it up on your mind. And when, as the woman says, when somebody show you who they are, you believe them. And so if someone show you that you're not valuable, if someone don't talk to you for 20 years, right? And you are someone who show love and compassion to them. And every time you turn around and you go to them, they hurt you some more. And every time you try to reach out, they don't want to see you, they don't want to hear you. Because listen, maybe at this time, nothing going on for you. And then all of a sudden, you hit the jackpot. Literally, you're happier, in a better place in your life. And suddenly they find out and they surface. They're coming to take the rest. And it's up to you to protect yourself and secure yourself. And remember, when you were vulnerable, when you needed the love and attention from the mother or the father, or the brother or sister or the lover, were they there for you? And do you think that if you find yourself at that low place again, do you think they're going to be there for you? They're takers, and it is your job to secure what you have. Because what they did in the past, they will do it again. They are takers and they're not going to be sympathetic to you, and they're not going to be there for you when you need them. So again, it's not that they need the thing that they want to take from you, whether it be your time or your emotion or your whatever it is you have to offer, they're trying to take from you. What they're trying to do is empty you of your peace, your finances. They'll take it, they'll destroy it. They don't want it for themselves either. They just don't want you to have it. Okay, so use your common sense and be wise. Stay blessed.